In northwest Atlanta, there's a community where you can see the emerald skyline of the city from your windows. The problem is, most of the windows are boarded up.
Have you had to board up a lot of these homes around here?
Actually, this is my first, but it wouldn't be my last.
This is the sad reality of life here. And the astonishing number of home vacancies, more than half, has turned what should have been prime real estate into crime real estate. Welcome to the Bluff in English Avenue.
It does breed crime in the communities. You have drug trades inside the vacant properties. You have prostitution. You have homeless.
But mostly, you have fear.
We've been robbed here. They stole our whole air conditioning unit from outside. So, there are no neighbors, so can't nobody see what they're doing. And, of course, we see people going in and out of these houses all times of the day, 3 o'clock in the morning,
Night is when the drug dealers and the prostitutes haunt these streets like zombies and specters, lurking in the shadows with an almost limbic resolve, waiting for the Johns and the addicts to come in from the suburbs, scattering like mice every time they see the police.
High crime, man. It's dangerous down here. Full of drugs. I think it's a really dangerous area down here. It's full of people on the streets, yelling, what you want, what you need, this, that, and the other. It's not too safe down here.
Epitaph graffiti marks the places of violent death here. Gangs, too, tag the boundaries of their influence, but there is no clear territory, because this is a no man's land, filled with awful possibilities, especially for the children.
When it be nighttime, you see people in the cuts and stuff, and they just be doing drugs and all that.
Very often, the police ride two to a car through these streets, but the children, just as often, have to walk them alone.
It make me scared because I'll be walking by myself sometimes, and they don't be my brother and sister, so I feel bad. But when they do walk with me, I just don't be scared no more.
You feel better with everybody around you.
Yes.
Martravian and his brother Jason live in the only occupied house on one of the streets in the Bluff.
It's kind of scary because all these people be robbing houses and they come out and strangle people and all that.
Their neighbors are nameless phantoms who inhabit the abandoned homes, watching them through holes in the wall and darkness as they ply their industry of crime.
You ever see people in these houses?
Yeah.
Sometimes? What do you do when you see them?
I'll go in the house.
The boy's mother says she wants to move. So do many others who've learned that in the Bluff, you enter at your own risk.
Just the neighborhood is so messed up.
Yeah.
I just think people are to that point where, if you just look, it's just, why bother almost,
This is what happens to abandoned houses in the Bluff. They are eviscerated, cut open to the studs by thieves who gut the copper wires and the metal pipes. In a very real sense, they are left for dead. Homicide that kills an entire zip code. The things that people do here would sicken you, and here is literally everywhere in the Bluff.
Just despair in this community. Probably over more than half of these properties are vacant. And what they do, they breed crime.
Police patrol the Bluff non-stop, but the sheer number of empty homes where crime can hide is overwhelming. And the danger from fire, especially as the weather gets colder and the homeless move in, is ever present.
So the area is dying, but it's going to come back to life because the city's going to do something about it. The people that are left here are close-knit people, and they kind of look out for one another. And the reason why they're still here is because they have nowhere else to go.
Jimmy Gates is an unabashed believer that the city will rescue this neighborhood. His friend Robert Lane not so much.
I have a daughter that lives in this neighborhood. Yes, I'm concerned all the time, because she got activities going on around her. She's learning what she see. As kids, we mimic what we see.
What does she see?
She see the drug dealers, she see the prostitution, she see the weed smoking. You know what I mean? So these are her role models. You know what I mean? So something has to change.
This was once a proud community. Gladys Knight went to school here. Martin Luther King Jr. raised his family a minute away. But today, such vaunted history is lost to a new legacy of despair.
Is it fair to say that this is almost a forgotten community?
Yes. This is a forgotten community. I think so. Because I don't see nobody over here trying to do nothing. Even the homeowners that have these properties over here, they need to put some money in them, fix them up, and rent them out $400-500. Some people can afford it over here, and it'll be livable. We won't have to worry about somebody being in the dead, people using it, vandalizing it, people being in the sleep, find a body.
I'm just sharpening up my new knife I found.
On one of our trips to the Bluff, we met the Bicycle Man, who grew up here.
496 Lindsay Street. I lived there from the time, when Kennedy got killed?
Yeah.
That's when I came up here to live, and I went to the school right around the corner.
Today, 496 Lindsay Street is an abandoned relic, and the Bicycle Man is homeless, though somehow not without faith.
It's going to eventually happen. Time is going to change it. It's hard to do something to change what's been happening for, 6, 7, 9, 10 years.
Indeed, as bad as things are in the Bluff, few are ready to write off this forgotten community. In many places in the Bluff, the empty lots grow tall as grass on the Serengeti, complete with wild animals like the feral dogs that roam here by the dozen. Many absentee landlords had let the houses here sit unoccupied for years, hoping in vain that the real estate market makes a comeback. Most are shotgun shacks, but some are expensive McMansions.
You got this house here. You got a $200,000 house sitting in the middle of the ghetto. You know what I mean? Anybody that can afford to live here don't want to live here.
It has led to a bizarre irony in this downtown neighborhood. The rich don't want to live here, and the poor can't. Because of all the empty houses, not even Section 8 will let their clients move in.
This is like downtown, so they got to do something with it. And I believe Mayor Reed's going to do something with it.
We met Jimmy Gates and Robert Lane before, the believer and the agnostic, at least when it comes to the city rescuing the Bluff. Well, it turns out both of them are men of faith.
I'm a growing young man.
They are members of Greater New Hope Baptist Church, which sits at the edge of the Bluff and has deep roots here.
We're trying our best to bring life back to the community, and we're hoping that someone outside of us will recognize that this is a forgotten community, and it's a community that needs assistance and needs love.
The church is not waiting for the city to do all the heavy lifting in this community. They too are stepping up as best they can with limited resources and an abundance of prayer.
Beyond these walls, and we bring more men in so that we can change English Avenue.
We need to get all the churches within this community and start working together on one accord to try to see what we can do as part of this community.
The guys in the green, give them, get everybody 2 bags. Let them get 2 bags apiece.
State Rep Abel Mabel Thomas agrees. Through neighborhood cleanups like this, the community invests in itself through sweat equity and shared goals, like a new youth center at the old elementary school.
There's enough good people, strong, solid people in this community and who are professionals as well as people who are just community-based, working people, that we can be a part of a turnaround.
There are signs that some landlords understand the need to keep these empty homes neat and secure, but the vast majority still don't seem to get it. But that could be about to change.
If you own a vacant and abandoned piece of property that historically continues to be a blight on the community, that continues to be the source, the root cause of high crime and illegal activity in our community, then you're subject to supporting terrorism to those who live next door to those properties.
City Councilman Ivory Young says despite the fact that the city has pumped more than $80 million into the Bluff and English Avenue over the last 20 years, it may be time for tougher measures. Among them, taking property away from deadbeat landlords through eminent domain.
There's really one option when you have the percentage of vacancy that we have, and that's eminent domain. If we can pursue a course of eminent domain and condemnation and acquire a critical mass, then we can make investments that can show a difference.
Young talks of revitalization through economies of scale. What that means is this: building one nice house on a bad street will do nothing. Building an entire street with nice houses will generate growth.
The folks that you're hearing from, they're there for the long haul. They're there for the fight. Right. And I'm here with them, and I promise them, we're not just going to tuck tail and run.